What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. My name is Splattercat, and we're here today with part 3 of our Shadowrun Returns LP. I hope you've been enjoying it thus far, and so as a little recap, in the last episode we had found out that our friend was dead and that he had also had an amigo named Jake that he had been hanging with the night before he was murdered. We found Jake in a coroner's slidey drawer thing where he was all refrigerated and sleeping, and we helped him clear out a bunch of bounty hunters who were trying to kill him. In return, he gave us a nice little docket of cash and showed us where the murder was at here in the Redmond Barrens. He gave us our basic equipment, and so we're pretty much ready to roll here. Let me make sure everything's equipped before we go much further. So my cyber deck is equipped. I'll go over what each of these mean in the cyber deck once we get a little bit further into the series, probably before our first Matrix run. As of right now, it's not that pertinent. And with our weapon, we got ourselves an AK-97 in the last episode, does 10 damage, has 19 range, and 24 round capacity. So, without further ado, let's get back to it. We were going to check out the murder scene right here, which was the next Ripper victim. So let's talk to William. William, sir? The bright yellow police tape cuts through the darkness, directing your eyes to the white chalk line and dark red stain making the slab of pavement where Sam Watts died, marking the slab of pavement, God. Standing at the entrance to the alley is a Lone Star officer, as generic as they come. The cop looks cold, hungry, and irritated at the homeless man is currently pestering him. So Lone Star, a little bit of a background here. Lone Star is a private police force. Basically, they're a corporation that hires out police officers, and it works about as well as you'd figure it would. They are corrupt and as slimy as shit, so you definitely want to count your fingers after you shake hands with them. I keep telling you, I need to get my stuff from the alley or I'm gonna die in the cold tonight. The officer sighs, and I've been trying to explain to you that this is an official Lone Star investigation and I can't let anybody in there. Hey, I got rights! Look, you sinless garbage, I've got a job to do. Find a new blanket or I'll find a reason to use my stun baton. Typical. I hate all you pigs. See if there's any way we can help here. He looks in your direction. Now what? So we have a couple options. We can say that Dresden sent us over. We can lie and say that we're going to check the site for spectral DNA, so that we're basically saying we're a mage and we're going to look for the fallout, the residue of a exchange of magic. Or, you remember that donut I picked up in the last episode? We can give him a donut and some coffee, and there's nothing cops like better than donuts and coffee, right? So there we go, we're gonna give that to him. Hey, thanks! The officer's face lights up as he takes a sip. He seems pretty trusting for an officer of the law. You know, when my dad was a cop, well, this was back when cops actually worked for the government. He said folks would buy him coffee all the time, but I ain't seen it till now. What can I do you for? We're actually looking for a dead man. I'm actually working for a dead man to help find his killer. Can I come into the alley and look around for a bit, or we can say that we're with forensics? That's what I'm going to do. My pleasure. I'm here with Internal Affairs to review the forensics guys' works, to find anything they may have missed. Sure, dig in. I certainly wouldn't mind those guys getting taken down a peg or two. Man, do they put on airs, if you know what I mean. And so he should slide on out of the way, and let's get our investigation on. So there's a number of nodes here we need to look at. Let's take a look at this first little trash pile. Amidst the shards of glass from the broken lights, you find a small piece of glass which looks like the bottom of a test tube. Okay, interesting enough. This looks like the coat and blanket that the old man was trying to get back. Let's go ahead and pick up the coat and blankets. As you pick up the bundle of cloth, a printed receipt falls out from beneath the folds of the blanket. It's a bar tab receipt from the seamstress union dated 2 nights ago at 3:02 a.m. Right around the coroner's reported time of death. The customer, Sam Watts. The server's name is listed as Coyote. Well then, I suppose we're about finished here. We got a little bit of karma there. Let's check the outline. There's 2 distinct sets of footprints, a human's ending in a chalk outline, and a larger set, possibly orc or troll, following just behind the first. The work light is brand new. You can see that all of the alley's normal lights have been ruined. Upon closer inspection, it seems that they've all imploded, as if some force shattered them all at the same time. Okay, so what we can gather from this information, just based on my knowledge of Shadowrun, is this guy down here with the bottle that we found on the ground, the test tube, that leads into the medical experience thing that we were talking about before, but in the Shadowrun tabletop, there's a thing called feedback for magic spells. When you cast a magic spell, it sets off a concussion sometimes. If it's a really powerful spell, it destroys lights. And so that means he was more than likely hit with some kind of magical burst that knocked out all the lighting. I mean, technically, I guess it could have been a grenade or something, but since there's no explosion, The streets have not been kind to this man, but they've also hardened him. He's clearly a survivor, though one wrestling with the onset of age and arthritis. I saw you over there with the rat bastard cop. What do you want? I think this coat and blankets belong to you. My stuff! Mighty decent of you. I don't see that sort of thing too often out here. Know anything about the murder that took place? You a copper or working for some corp? Just a freelancer, and I want to ask some questions. Good. I never tell those cops and salarymen nothing. What do you want to know? Sounds like you live in the alley. Sure, but for the last couple months I've been sleeping there. But I spend my days out doing odd jobs for the street merchants or panhandling tourists over near the seamstress union. Did you see the murder? Nope, and I can't say I'm sorry I missed it. I was hauling crates for Miss James up at the market. Can't carry as many as I used to, so it took a while. Got back here in time to see a couple of tourists puking all over my home turf. By then, that jerk-face in the uniform had already set up shop in my alley. You see anything else that night? Well, you know, early in the night I saw a big and ugly troll in a green hospital scrub snooping around the block. He bought some donuts and 2 cups of soy calf off of Dan back there. Seemed nervous, and he did something with his left hand because his right was all screwed up with some cyberware. You tell me about the cyberware? Well, it was big, and I think it must have had some hospital attachments because I saw some needles. It was a lot like the one I saw back in 44 when I got captured by Elves. They did all sorts of experiments on me, let me tell you. Never trusted one of them cyber people. That's all I needed to know, thanks. See you around. So he bought 2 cups of coffee. Another interesting thing. Accomplice? Possibly? Details, my friends. Fine details. We could technically talk to him again. Let's go ahead and see if he's got anything to say about it. The smell of... we already did that one. What can I get you, chummer? Did you sell some donuts to a troll wearing scrubs last night? Maybe. What's it to you? I sell a lot of donuts to a lot of people. I know how Lone Star profiles metahumans. I tell them about a troll that bought donuts from me right before a murder. They'll haul him in just to see if anybody will pay the bail. Not today, my friend. I'll see you around. So there's that first kind of glimpse at that racism you run into. People don't like trolls and orcs very much. Just kind of for no apparent reason, too, because there's plenty of good, hardworking trolls in the game. In fact, there's more. It's just because they look scary. People kind of profile them. You're about to leave the Barrens and enter the Seamstress Union. Would you like to proceed? So once we leave here, this is the end of the level, basically. It's the end of the scene. Because we've done everything, we're going to bounce on out, and it's going to load, but we've got a little bit of RP intro here. Relative to the rest of the Barrens, Tourist Villa is a neon-clothed oasis. At its heart is the Seamstress Union. Housed in an old brownstone building at the corner of Illegal and Opportunity, bums huddle together, gangers strut the streets, and occasional salaryman comes slumming. A salaryman is somebody that works for a corporation, just so you know. They could be doing just about anything for the corporation, but they're essentially a made man if you want to think about it in terms of the mafia. The Union building has been retrofitted, rebuilt, and restored so many times that it's like an aging starlet wearing too much makeup in an attempt to stay young. The wild ivy growing out of the gutters adds to this effect. As you enter, the murmur of hushed conversation washes over you. The dive bar denizens raise their heads, take your measure, then go back to their business. This is the kind of place where everybody knows your name, but everybody keeps to themselves. Got 2 more karma. Let's take a look at our level ups, because we've got 9 karma on deck right now, so we need to do a little bit of spending. For the time being, I think we really want to focus on our ranged combat skills. We want to be competent in defending ourselves before we go much further. Now you see this blue line that comes down for all of the quickness skills? That's the cap. You can never raise anything in quickness higher than your total quickness score. So I'm going to go with 1 in quickness. We'll put another 1 in ranged combat so that we can have another weapon slot. And maybe we'll think about taking a secondary weapon like a pistol, like a holdout weapon, just in case. The karma that's left over, we don't have a ton. But let's consider putting it into dodge because we are going to get into melee fights. And let's see if there's anything else we really want to put 1 point into. I don't really think there's anything completely worth it, but we might. Drone control might be interesting, although that would force us later on. Well, we're going to be pumping intelligence anyway, so let's do it. Let's take a Class C drone. I've never taken a drone before, and I'd like to play around with them. So we can do a basic drone at this point. Which, a little different from the drone I'm used to doing on this channel. I know, I'm not always the most entertaining. My bad jokes are pretty bad, but we're going to have to do a little bit more legwork here talking to people. So let's see who we can get set up with. Let's talk to Cherry Bomb. She's scantily clad, always a good place to start. The bartender is a striking elf sporting a perfectly toned body, perfectly pouty lips, and a perfectly tapered set of ears. Her eyes harmonize save me and take me in equal measure, hitting just the right notes for maximum extraction of tips. Hey there, I haven't seen you before. What can I get you? Something dirty and a clean glass. Ooh, a hard case. I like that. Alright, hard case, I'll get you something stiff. She starts to turn away when a man with the face of a survivor and the zeal of a convert tugs at her arm hard. It's clear the two have history. They try to keep their voices low, but the intensity of their conversation makes them easy to overhear. Cherry, you've got to listen to me. If you stick around here, you could end up dead or worse. The Ripper is out there, and he's real. That last killing happened just down the block, and now Coyote's missing. They'll probably find her tomorrow in a dumpster without her head. Come on, Cherry Bomb, think. I think plenty, Shane. I'm getting a PhD from UW in neuroprosthetics, studying under Ohimans. And how am I paying for it? Bartending, tips. There are faster ways for a Baron's girl to earn that kind of scratch, but I'm not taking them, so what do you want from me? I want what you want, a better life, a better world for everyone. The Universal Brotherhood can give you that. I've heard this all before. This isn't some trick to get us back together. Things are different now. I'm different now. The Brotherhood. Cherry Bomb's praise is pretty hard and armored in lipstick and low expectations. The Universal Brotherhood is for other people, Shane. Rich Bellevue types who can afford their membership fees and voluntary donations. This isn't about money. It's about binding the world together in brotherhood. Come with me. Attend a discovery meeting. Get to the core of who you are. I heard Lynn Telestrian give a talk last night titled The New Family of the Six World... I've got family right here, Shane. They're drunks and lowlives and whores, and I choose them over any one of your Brotherhood members. Now, Buzz, I need to get back to work. With body language that leaves no question that the conversation is over, Cherry Bomb turns her back on him. Sorry, I got interrupted. I heard he's got the strength of the righteous, doesn't he? Her eyes narrow. Be careful about those conversations you listen on here. Some folks aren't as friendly as I am. You've got a look that says you're not just here for the entertainment. You a badge? Do I look like a cop? She flutters her eyelashes. No, baby. You look like someone who knows the shadows. We're trained to spot a bronze the minute they walk in here. Something I can help you with? I'm gonna look around. I don't really... She's got things to say, but, you know... Till she's got a little bit of cash to throw around. Not something I'm really worried about. Hey guy, got some extra outfits I'm looking to unload. You want first dibs? Yeah, I'll take a look. So there are different outfits you can load up your character with. They've all got different amounts of armor, which is pretty important for reducing damage, things of that nature. But I don't really know if there's anything here that I want. There's a bunch of different things with permanent increase or passive increase as long as you're equipped. We can get dodge +1 if we put on ninja clothing, and we can afford it too, but for the time being... That's tempting. The alley punk is tempting. 3 HP is pretty good, but it's still expensive. So for now, I'm going to wait and see what else this place has on offer. That dude's rocking 2 broadswords. That's pretty crazy. See what's going on over here. This lady, I think, was a weapon dealer as far as I remember. The Asian woman's expression reads open for business, but her demeanor reads dealer rather than companion. She has a jack on her neck, a gun on her hip, and a chip on her shoulder. She eyes you with a sneer. The writing is really top-notch. I gotta say, Hairbrain did a great job with the writing. It sounds straight out of a dungeon manual. You look like you know your way around. Need something? Weapons? Matrix tech? Show me what you got, lady. So she's got the pistol that we would have started with. She's got the AK-97 that we already own. She does have a Doberman, which is a basic combat drone. I think we should probably pick up one of those, maybe? 1,000 is a pretty heavy price for one, but being kitted out couldn't hurt us, especially since I took the point anyways. So yeah, let's do it. So we got a Doberman there. I don't really know how to use it. This is our equipment screen. We can clear everything. We can kind of move things around. You can see the Doberman's been equipped right there. So we'll confirm it, and we'll bounce on out. We got to be like a favorite customer at this point. Spin it. Oh my god. I've got a Roomba. I've got a weaponized Roomba. This is the best day of my life. This is like my dreams since my childhood have come true. I'm chilling in cyberspace with a machine gun, and I have a Roomba with a cannon on top of it. This is amazing. Mr. Clue! Pointed at the doorway to the VIP section is a tower of a troll muscle, wrapped in an impossibly tailored suit. Whether the product of good genes or expensive aftermarket cosmetic work, the troll's gleaming horns perfectly frame his face, and his polished tusks and goatee accentuate the set of a lantern jaw. Welcome. Please behave yourself. Will do. You get trouble in here often? Nothing a stern look can't usually solve. You got business here? Looking into the death of Sam Watts. I heard about that. Real shame what happened to him. There's a sharpness in Clue's eyes, the look of a man who has seen much and earned wisdom at a young age. I figure Sam was the type that needed to be thrown out on occasion. Encouraged to call it a night, I'd say. Sam was a drunk, but he usually wasn't a violent one. Usually? What about the night he died? He was a bit agitated, didn't catch the specifics. Might have been over a woman. Thought I was gonna have to show him out, but I had to deal with a couple of rival go-gangers posturing for one of the working girls upstairs. Jake helped Sam out instead. Thanks for the info. No problem. So let's go and check out VIP here. Make sure that nothing's going down. Our robot's got our back, so I'm not too worried about it. Hopefully our robot doesn't count as an extra individual. Additionally, I somewhat wonder what happens if the robot gets destroyed. Johnny Clean? Noog. Mrs. Kabota. Let's go talk to Miss Kabota. That's who we're here for. The rest of these guys just kind of have flavor text. Mrs. Kabota watches you across the room, sizing you up as you approach. As you get closer, you see that she's of mixed race, African and Japanese. Her demeanor says, "This is my house, mess with it at your peril." But her eyes twinkle with a playful light when she speaks. Konbanwa. Good evening. Oh, that's right. It's kind of... People speak Japanese and English in this game. If you've ever watched Firefly, if you're unfamiliar, it's the same thing with Chinese in Firefly. They do the same thing in this, although this predates Firefly, I'll be careful to point out. Konbanwa, good evening. Are you enjoying the seamstress union? There should be plenty for a man like you to enjoy. She eyes you closely, or is this business? I'm tempted to ask what's upstairs. Not tempted enough, though, huh? She laughs. Tell me, Ome, what is it you're looking for? Information, my dear lady. She eyes you suspiciously. Of course you are. Knowledge is power. So I've been told. Soka, and why should I help you? Sam Watts, I'm looking for his killer. Her face brightens, amused. Ah, so you are the little insurance policy he would go on about when he was drunk. His avenging angel who would strike back for him from beyond the grave. What do you want to know? Did you see him on the night of his death? He was here, quite inebriated as he often was. Coyote was working the bar that night. She informed me that Sam was getting rowdy and belligerent with other customers. When I requested he leave, he refused. My bouncer, Mr. Clue, was off dealing with another issue, so I requested that Jake escort Sam out the back door to the alley. It's the last I saw of either of them. How well did you know Sam? Well, I knew him. We all did. He was a regular here. Whenever he would beg or borrow enough new yen to become altered in some way, drugs, chips, alcohol, it didn't matter to Sam, as long as he was bent. He was always looking for his next fist. Well, better bent than bent over, I suppose. He clung to his place like it was his lifeline, and we treated him as part of the family, even though none of us truly liked him except Coyote. Well, where can I find her? Her face darkens. Would that I could. Haven't seen her in 2 days. She's a smart woman and quite dangerous, but I fear for her. She's dangerous. Why fear for her? Please, if you are what I think you are, you know, there's always somebody more dangerous. Her room is upstairs. If you're looking for her, I invite you to examine it. You may be able to uncover her whereabouts. I would not normally betray her privacy in this way, but she's missed 2 shifts now, and I can't reach her on the comm. It's unlike her. If something has happened, I will not have inaction on my conscience. Here's the key. So upstairs we go. Alright, robot, keep my back. Let's take a look at this comm first. There is a mid-grade security panel attached to the nearby door. It's set to require a password for entry. Decking number 2, hack the panel. Let's do it. This is what we're here for. With a satisfying hiss, we get it open. Looks like we've got something we can inspect here. The stuffed bear seems to be hiding something. Well then, Ooh, we found some drugs. The bear was packing. He was riding the white pony. A bear on a white pony. What a strange thing to find. Only in the Barrens. Only in the Barrens. Check this room out right here. Make sure there's nothing suspicious going on here. I don't know if this is the right room or not, but we'll step inside really quickly to see if anything lights up for us. Got a turlet and a shower if we need those. God, I wish I wonder if I can I name my robot? I really wish I could name my robot. It won't let me cycle through. Damn. I wanted to name my robot very badly. I wanted to name him Woogie. But unfortunately, I'm just going to call him Woogie by default. He's Woogie. He's not named Woogie, but we're going to call him Woogie, because that's what I always wanted to name my St. Bernard if I ever got one. So this appears to be Coyote's room. Looks like Coyote keeps her clothes in boxes on the floor. Sounds remarkably similar to my situation. Let's check the computer next, since that's what I've got skills in. Coyote's computer is ancient, probably fished it out of a junkyard. It doesn't even have a data jack, and the cracked display is covered with fingerprints. Tapping the keyboard causes the dust-caked fans to spin up, only to display on-screen password. Without the password, the only other button on screen is a password recovery option. Let's recover it. Please answer 3 security questions to reset the password. Your first childhood pet. God, I don't know. Shadow? Answer stored. Question 2, your favorite musical act. Well, Chicago's on the wall. But, unfortunately, I don't see Chicago as an option. Although it says, welcome to Chicago, so I suppose that's probably not, the option. I don't know, the Shadows? Answer stored. What is the name of your hometown? Chicago? Answer stored. Your security answers were incorrect. Alright, well, I'm not going to keep barking up that tree. With decking 3, we could hack it. Could just brute force the hell out of it. Unfortunately, I'm at hacking 2, so I should probably work on my decking between here and there, now that we've got combat skills lined up. Coyote's bed has a diary with several papers sticking out of it. First paper, there's a receipt stuck between the pages and an entry. Read the entry. I came back from my shift to find 4 of Paco's goons sleeping on our apartment floor. It's getting fragging ridiculous. I want to be with him, the real Paco, but this cutter dreck keeps messing everything up. I love him, but he's totally different with the gang. It's how I make cash, baby, he always says. I try to tell him he doesn't need the cash. I could support us both with what I make at the seamstress union, but he still goes on the runs. With those bozos all over my floor, I feel like he's just seeing how far he can push me before I kick him out. I try to be patient, but why does it all have to be one way? Check out the receipt. A receipt for a Browning Max Power pistol from Gin Park downstairs with a note saying how big guns on hot women turn her on. So I suppose we will flip to a different page. Second page. The paper has a handwritten poem on it and a diary entry. Sometimes it seems like Paco reads my mind or my diary. Maybe he does the latter. I wouldn't be surprised. Hi, Paco. Ever since last week, he hasn't mentioned the cutters once. He leaves the apartments with a "see you in a few hours, babe," and returns later with a comment. Or without a comment. I don't know if he's really going to help for us to avoid the subject in conversation completely, but I have felt better about our constant arguing about it. Reading the poem, let's just say that Paco should stick to guns and motorcycles and leave poetry to others. The cutters are a gang, if you haven't figured it out by now. They're another one. I'd forgotten about them. There is a receipt and an old photograph stuck between the pages. We look at the picture. It shows a young girl with caramel skin and dark brown hair. She has a snake wrapped around her arm, yet she's smiling. The back of the photograph has shadow scrawled on it. Inspect the receipt. A COD receipt for a special order, 5 pounds of zebra meat from Maury's Meat Emporium, located near Pike Place Market. Flip to a different page. Open the diary to the 4th page. A receipt for a wall safe installed near the bathroom door set to a combination of 342436. Alrighty. So I guess we'll go ahead and check for that wall safe. The stand is littered with action movies and cigarette butts. A framed painting of the Chicago skyline done in stylized silhouette. Guess we'll take a look. I still don't know what she likes in musicals. I mean, we could brute force it, I guess. I don't want to, though. We'll input the code here. The safe beeps cheerfully in response, and the door pops open. What do we have here? Facetti's basic frag grenade. Let's go ahead and swap it for the nitro, since I'm not a drug user in this game. Oh, never mind. There we go. So we'll swap it. And then I guess we'll try another attempt here. I didn't see anything about musicals or whatever, but we know that Shadow is the name of the snake. The musical act, I just don't know. Starfire, and then we know she's from Chicago. Oh, there we go. So we reset the password. So we can check her calendar. We got Karma 3. 3 days ago, meet with Delilah about gig. Today, meet Paco for a date at Pike Place Market, due in 30 minutes. Check her contacts. Coyote's contact list has exactly 1 entry, someone named Paco. There's no comlink number or other contact information for him available. This does not seem like a very useful list of contacts. Checking the history shows that Coyote's been reading a great deal about hellhounds. That makes sense with the zebra meat, and suggests more than a casual interest in vintage action figures. Yikes. Alrighty, well, I've got a couple of those around the house, so I know how it goes. Let's get on up out of here and see what we can get done with the remainder of our episode. I know this has been kind of a chatty Cathy episode. Not a whole lot of killing going on, but it's good to set the stage. This sort of thing builds the tension and lets us step forward into a better surrounding, get into a little bit of trouble. So I suppose we'll talk to Miss Kabota since she set us up there in the first place. How can I help you? Do you know Paco? He's a ganger, a member of the Cutters. He's a good kid in a nasty line of work. I warned Coyote against getting too attached to that type. They don't live long. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Have you heard of Maury's Meat Emporium? Her face twists in disgust. No, I'm a vegetarian. Did you know Gin Parks recently sold Coyote a gun? I'd be more surprised if she didn't. Bouncers can deal with most of the troublemakers, but around here you need a gun just to take the trash out to the dumpster. Coyote has a date with Paco at Pike Place Market in the next half hour. If you would go down there, it might bring me peace of mind. I'll call a cab for you. It should be able to get you there in time. Gambate kudasai. Good luck. And I apologize to anybody that's Japanese. I've looked at my metrics, and I've seen that I do get views from Japan every now and again. So if I'm pronouncing things improperly, you'll forgive me. I'm unexposed. I'm uninitiated. Nerps. Let's talk to Jin about that gun real quick. Did you sell a Browning Max Power pistol to Coyote? Hey guy, I'm discreet. I don't talk about what my clients or what they buy, or about my clients or what they buy. It's bad for biz. However, I'm sure she would recommend me if she was a customer, which I'm not saying she is. She can't recommend you if she's dead. She say anything about it? All she said is she is looking for some stalking power. Ease back on the drama. Alright, well let's walk away for now. I think we're in for a scene change, so what I'll do is we'll read the introduction to the next scene and then we'll leave it there because we're right about out of time for now. I know it was an uneventful episode for you guys, but we do have the background. We know where we're going, so hopefully the next episode should be a little bit more action-packed. You catch a cab from Touristville to Pike Place Market in a mercifully quiet ride that takes you from probably going to get mugged to probably going to pay too much for your drinks. Compared to the urban wasteland of the Barrens, the downtown area is filled with modern buildings, lighted streets, and unbarred shops, all living beneath the shadows of massive corporate arcologies. For many, these arcologies are home. For others, they're hulking monuments to where the world went wrong. Famous for its fishmongers, Pike Place Market has been around since the early 1900s, overlooking the bay. Now it's a market for all things, legal and illegal. A melting pot of haves and have-nots. Even though most of the shops are closed, the sights, sounds, and smells of the market hit you from the moment you step out of the cab. And so there it is. That's how we're going to conclude this third episode of our Shadowrun Returns LP. Thank you so much for joining me here at the Nerd Castle. I have a lot of fun. I really do. Playing these games with you guys is a blast, and it's the high point of my day. So I hope to see you guys next time. I hope you've had a little bit of a chuckle, a little bit of fun, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care out there, chummers.